Hi everyone, Alex here from Oregon. Today I decided to recall a story that still makes me feel both embarrassed and amused at the same time. It's the story of my worst, most disastrous job interview, which oddly enough taught me a lot. This happened a few years ago. I had just graduated from college and was desperately looking for my first serious job. Then I got invited to an interview at a company that seemed incredibly cool to me at the time. I was extremely nervous. I spent the whole night preparing, reading about their mission and values, rehearsing answers to tricky questions. In the morning, I put on my only decent suit, which was a bit too tight, drank 3 cups of coffee out of nerves, and headed out. I arrived 20 minutes early just to be absolutely sure I wouldn't be late. I'm sitting in the reception area, sweating, flipping through some random magazine, and my heart is pounding so loudly it feels like the whole office can hear it. Finally, they invite me into the meeting room. 2 people are sitting at the table. A Stroga HR woman and a man who was supposed to become my boss. The interview starts in a standard way, and I'm actually answering pretty well. Then the HR woman asks me to talk about my strengths. Just like I had rehearsed, I confidently begin talking about responsibility, proactivity, and stress resistance. And at that exact moment, my body, overloaded with coffee and stress, decided it was time to hiccup. Loudly. Clearly. Not just a hiccup, but one of those dramatic ones with a little squeak at the end. In the sudden silence, it sounded like an alarm going off. I turned red to the tips of my ears, mumbled, "Sorry," and tried to continue. But the hiccups had no intention of backing down. I say a sentence. Hic! I tried to talk about my graduation project. Hic! And again. It was awful. The strict HR woman looked at me as if I had wandered in from a circus. Her colleague, my potential boss, tried to keep a straight face at first, but then he couldn't hold it in anymore and started quietly choking with laughter, covering his mouth with his hand. I tried holding my breath. Didn't help. I asked for a glass of water and drank it in small sips, just like the internet recommends. The hiccups disappeared for exactly 10 seconds, and then came back with renewed force. In the end, completely defeated, I simply said, "I guess one of my strengths is the ability to create awkward situations. I'm sorry. I think I should go." And accompanied by my own hiccups, I left the office. Of course, I didn't get the job. But you know what's the funniest part? When I walked outside, got into my car, and realized the absurdity of what had just happened, I started laughing. I laughed until I cried. That whole carefully constructed, serious image I had tried so hard to maintain was destroyed by one ridiculous hiccup. And in that moment, I understood that you don't have to be so afraid of looking silly or imperfect. Sometimes, the most awkward moments turn into the best stories. Have you ever had epic failures like that at a job interview or an important meeting? Share your most ridiculous story in the comments. Let's laugh together. Hello, everyone. Alex from Oregon here again. Today's weather brought back memories of a story I have never shared with anyone. It's a story about forgiveness I never asked for, and words that remained stuck in my throat forever. This happened when I was in college. I had a professor, Dr. Miller. He taught history and was incredibly strict. All the students were afraid of him. He didn't tolerate lateness, demanded perfect knowledge of the material, and, as it seemed to us, almost took pleasure in failing us on exams. Like many others, I quietly resented him. I thought he was an old man bitter at the world, someone who simply took out his dissatisfaction on us. Young and full of life. One day I had to submit an important term paper to him. I was running out of time, panicked, and did something terrible. I downloaded most of the paper from the internet, only slightly changing the text. I was sure he wouldn't notice. But he did. He called me to his office after the lecture. I walked there expecting the worst. But instead of yelling, he quietly placed my paper on the desk and said, "Alex, I expected more from you. I see potential in you, but laziness and dishonesty are destroying it." He didn't make a scene, didn't go to the dean. He simply gave me a failing grade and said he would give me a chance to redo it if I wrote everything myself. "Not for the grade," he said, "but for yourself." I was angry and humiliated. Instead of gratitude, I snapped at him and said something like, "You're just looking for any excuse to humiliate a student." Then I stormed out of his office. I retook the course with another professor and tried not to cross paths with Dr. Miller again. A year later, I accidentally learned that he had passed away from a heart attack. And only at the memorial service, listening to the speeches of his colleagues and former students, did I understand what kind of person he truly was. He was demanding because he believed in us. He devoted his entire life to teaching and never had a family of his own. We, his students, were his children. And that day, he wasn't trying to humiliate me. He was trying to teach me an important life lesson. Many years have passed since then, but I still can't forgive myself for the words I threw in his face. I never got the chance to say I'm sorry or thank you. I carry that weight with me. My advice to you: if you want to ask someone for forgiveness, don't put it off. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it may never come. Have you ever had a moment in your life when you didn't get the chance to say something important? Or maybe, on the contrary, you found the strength to ask for forgiveness in time? And it changed your life. Share your stories below. It would mean a lot to me to read them.